Day 838 of doing a LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, y'all, we're back again another day, another LeetCode problem where we're doing daily LeetCode problems. And today we have question number 3069, distribute elements into two arrays 1. The difficulty level is easy, but don't worry because you already know we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand as possible. But before we get started, y'all, don't forget to like, hype, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you need any new Apple AirPods, go ahead and check out that link in the description so you can get you some. Now let's see what the question says. You are given a one-index array of distinct integers nums of length n. You need to distribute all the elements of nums between two arrays R1 and R2 using n operations. In the first operations, append nums 1 to R1, and the second operation, append nums 2 or nums of 2 to R2. Afterwards, in the ith operation, if the last element of R1 is greater than the last element of R2, append nums of I to R1, otherwise append nums of I to R2. The array result is formed by concatenating the arrays of R1 and R2. For example, if R1 is equal to an array of integers 1, 2, 3, and R2 is equal to an array of integers 4, 5, 6, then the result is an array of integers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Return the array result. Alright, y'all, so that may seem a little bit confusing at first, so let's go ahead and take a look at these examples just to make sure that we are doing this question correctly. So, in example 1, we have our input nums equals an array of integers 2, 1, 3. The output is an array of integers 2, 3, 1. So, before we get into the explanation, let me copy and paste this over here. So this would be the input. Boom, then we have R1. Start the blank array right there. Then we have R2. Another blank array. Boom. Now, so first it says, in the first operation, append nums 1 to R1, and the second operation, append nums of 2 to R2. So we're just going to take this 2, and we're going to append it to R1, and we're going to take this 1, and we are going to append it to R2. Because remember, it's a one-index array, so we're not starting from, the index doesn't start from 0, it starts from 1. Then in the third operation, as the last element of R1 is greater than the last element of R2, so as you can see right here, 2 is greater than 1, so that means we're going to append nums of 3 to R1, right? So we're going to take this 3, just copy and paste this, and put it right here. Boom. Because it says if the last element of R1 is greater than the last element of R2, then we take nums of I and append it to R1. Otherwise, we take nums of I and append it to R2. So whichever one is greater, that's which one we're going to append the third element to. Boom. So then, now that we have these two arrays, right, so let's just copy and paste this up here so you can see them next to each other. Because the next step for us to do after we have these two arrays is to concatenate them. So boom, after we concatenate them, it looks like this: 2, 3, 1. That's our output, 2, 3, 1. Boom. Now, just in case that did not make sense to y'all, let's go ahead and take a look at example 2. So let me clean this up real quick. Boom, put that in blank array, boom. Hold on, sorry y'all. Boom. Well, actually, this is going to be this. So let me just copy and paste this. Then let me line this up for y'all. Boom. All right, let's get into it. So in example 2, we have our input nums equals an array of integers 5, 4, 3, 8. The output is an array of integers 5, 3, 4, 8. So let's go through it. It says after the first two operations, R1 and R2 is 5. R1 is 5, R2 is 4. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to take this, append it here. Then we're going to take this, and we're going to append it here. Boom. Now we're on the third operation. It says in the third operation, as the last element of R1 is greater than the last element of R2, right? So 5 is greater than 4. We're going to append nums of 3 to R1 like we did last time. So we're going to take this 3, get the comma too, because we need that comma. Boom. And we're going to put it right here. Then hence R1 becomes an array of integers 5, 3. Then in the fourth operation, as the last element of R2 is greater than the last element of R1, so now we have 4 is greater than 3, so that means we're going to append nums of 4 to R2, hence R2 becomes an array of integers 4, 8. So since this last element 4 is greater than this last element 3, we're going to put the 8 with this 4. Boom. Then after 4 operations, R1 becomes an array of integers 5, 3. R2 becomes an array of integers 4, 8. Hence the array result formed by concatenation is an array of integers 5, 3, 4, 8. So once again, we're going to concatenate them. So let's just bring those up like this. Let's bring them together like this. And boom, this is our final output array, 5, 3, 4, 8. 5, 3, 4, 8, and that's how we got it, y'all. I hope that makes sense to y'all. And now that we understand the question, let's get into the fun part, the actual solution. The solution is not that difficult at all. Now, first thing we need to do is we need to initialize two arrays. R1 starts with the first element, R2 starts with the second element. So we're going to declare a variable called R1, set that equal to an array of integers, nums of 0 or nums square bracket 0. Come outside of this, and we're going to say, comma, R2 equals square bracket nums square bracket 1. Boom. Now we're going to process the remaining numbers one by one. So we're going to come underneath this, and we're going to say for I in 2 dot dot less than nums dot count. We're going to open up the brackets, and we're going to compare the last element of each array. If the last element of R1 is larger, append the current number to R2. So we're going to say if R1 dot last exclamation point is greater than R2 dot last exclamation point, we'll open up the brackets, and we'll say R1 dot append, open up the parentheses, nums square bracket I. Boom. Otherwise, we're going to append the current number to R2. So we'll come right here, and we're going to say else. We're going to open up the brackets, and we'll say R2 dot append, open up the parentheses, nums square bracket I. Then we're going to concatenate R1 followed by R2 and return the resulting array by coming right here, and we're going to say return R1 plus R2, y'all. Boom. That's all she wrote. Let's give it a run. Make sure it runs properly. It's accepted. So let's go ahead and submit it. Make sure it's still accepted after we submit it. And look at that, y'all. 0 milliseconds beats 100% of users. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to see, y'all. So with that being said, y'all, make sure you get one more look at the code. And I hope y'all learned something today. And I hope to see y'all here tomorrow for another day, another LeetCode problem. See y'all then.